What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another Marvel video, I guess? Because today we're taking a look at the revival of Daredevil, which is an 8-episode, 9-episode special, 9-episode sort of season on Disney Plus, which is called Daredevil Born Again. And I did watch this all in one go. I waited for it to all come out so I could watch it all in one, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of this series. I hadn't seen the original Daredevil show, so I wasn't really familiar with this. I know the one on Netflix has quite a few seasons, so I wasn't really too familiar with this one. It seemed quite, I don't know, it seemed like I had to watch it, obviously, to keep up with the MCU, as you do now. You have to watch all the shows, all the TV movies, all the little snippets, all the trailers. Marvel just has so much that you have to watch now to be able to keep up with the story, so I had to watch this one, and I thought I'd give it a go. And my first thoughts was, I'm so glad that I don't have to have watched the Daredevil show to fully understand what's going on. There was some bits which did cater to those who had seen it, where it is giving you a couple of seconds of pause time to be like, oh my god, it's that guy, holy shit, I can't believe that back. But for someone who hasn't seen the original series, it was kind of just like, okay, cool, that's a person that I should know. So basically, without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say about this series. So it has one season, it's an action, it came out 2025, has an 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 87% Rotten Tomatoes, and Matt Murdock finds himself on a collision course with Wilson Fisk when their past identities begin to emerge. So, basically, there is two separate stories here. There is Wilson Fisk's story, the Kingpin, and then there is Matt Murdock's story about Daredevil. So we're going to go with Kingpin's because his is pretty slow. So he's come back into the picture, come back into town, got back with his wife, who was working with a lot of other crime bosses, and Wilson has decided to go for mayor. He got mayor, everyone voted for him. He's kind of like a really bad mayor, but he's keeping a guy locked up in his basement for sleeping with his wife. His wife is really upset with him because he's not dealing with the old stuff that he should do with the crime bosses and stuff, and he's not taking it as seriously as he should, and he's doing his own stuff, which she isn't too happy about, and he ends up, basically doing wrong and upsetting quite a lot of people with him being mayor and no longer doing crime, and it does lead him to basically make a task force to get rid of vigilantes outside of New York. And there is references to Ronin, references to Hawkeye, and references to Spider-Man as well, and he's basically trying to exterminate all mass vigilantes, so he sends a task force out for Daredevil, Punisher, and that's pretty much where his story leaves off. Whereas Daredevil's story is with him being Daredevil, his best friend dies, he gives up being Daredevil, and then crime starts to come back. He gets with his friend's friend, who's a lawyer and a therapist, so that's going to be a really great relationship. A lot of analyzing, but sure, go for it. And they get together. The girlfriend is getting really close to Fisk. He doesn't like that, and he is basically fighting for White Tiger, who gets killed. He goes to see the Punisher, being like, why did you kill him? And he's like, it's not me, it's a bunch of fanboys. So he goes around trying to kill the fanboys, which are actually the group working for Fisk. And then we see another guy who's the blood-painted dude, and he tries to kill Murdock's girlfriend. Daredevil saves her. Then Kingpin invites him to the thing, into the ball, where they try and kill Daredevil, and then he gets dressed up back in the suit, fights alongside the Punisher to basically save the city, and that's where the series ends, with Daredevil finally making a comeback. I am going to be honest, this wasn't my favorite series. There was a lot of cop thing to it. It was more of a police show, a detective show, than it was a Marvel show, and that was definitely evident from the opening scenes where they were fighting Bullseye. It just didn't feel Marvel. It felt very cheap, and the CGI and the choreography was very shit. In the first episode, I really didn't like it, and then we didn't see Daredevil again until the last 2 episodes, so it did feel a lot like just Matt Murdock, and it was really boring, especially with not knowing who any of these characters are, so I have no emotional weight to any of them. So like loads of people say, oh, you don't need to watch the original to watch this one, it'll still make sense. It does get rid of a lot of the emotional weight behind it, and a lot of the like emotional impacts of obviously Matt's friend dying and then him being like a whole funk about it. Like we as new viewers to Daredevil don't really get to connect with that character all too much, so we don't really see why Matt is so upset. So there is that like watchability to it where you kind of have to, but then you also don't. Like it depends on like how you want to view the series, whether it's like a direct follow-on or it's just like own thing. The villains I did think was really cool. I liked the Blood guy. I thought he was crazy, but in like a good way. He gave me like Riddler vibes from the Batman movie. I did really enjoy him being a villain. He was crazy. The acting was really good. His motive was also there, and I liked how he was just really like eerie like the entire time he was on screen, and I was so excited to have put it together and like worked out who he was. I just thought it was really cool like how I worked it out. It was very cool. I did enjoy, and the love story I didn't really care for. I didn't feel like they had a lot of chemistry. I felt like it was kind of forced just to build some more drama for the show. I did enjoy the Punisher making his return, but I do feel like they tried to milk the meme bit where he's tied to the chair and like the no 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 no. I feel like that was like a solid reference to that when he was tied in the chair in this season, but could be wrong. Could just be my like brain thinking about that, but it did feel like that. So I gotta give credit where credit's due to the writers for trying to link it back to that, and that's really all I cared about for the series. Like, I didn't really care for Daredevil going in it. There was a couple of cool scenes where he did get to use his power and his acrobatic skill, but it just wasn't a series for me. It wasn't what I enjoyed, and it's not what I expect from like a Marvel show. It felt very different from the standard that they set with like WandaVision and like what else have Marvel done? Like Ms. Marvel, and it felt like different from She-Hulk and Hawkeye. And I know they all have their own identities and like their own sort of style, and like they're all different, but this one felt completely different and completely like out of the blue. Like it didn't feel like it would match or that it fits the tone of like the MCU. It just felt really strange. Normally you can tell like it's a Marvel project by looking at it. You couldn't tell that this was a Marvel project. It just felt so different. And I'm not saying different is a bad thing, I'm just saying that it just doesn't fit the vibe that the MCU has set up. And I know they're trying to branch out and like explore new like mediums and like new ways of telling story in different styles to keep obviously attention and like to keep the thing on them. And Daredevil is a very popular character which has been in quite high demand over the past couple of months, past couple of years, and they have obviously teased him with like Spider-Man, No Way Home, Far From Home, whatever it's called, and they also teased him in She-Hulk, so it is about time that he did get his own show, but it's just not for me. I didn't really enjoy it. I was playing on my phone throughout most of it. I was not locked in for this series, and it could just be the fact that I don't really like Daredevil as a character, or it could just be because the series was boring and didn't have a whole lot going for it. I wasn't really a fan of the whole lawyer stuff. I've never really been into like true crime or stuff like that TV shows, so this one did feel a little bit stale to me, and did get boring very quickly with all like the repetitive nature of it, with him doing so many different court cases throughout the show. We had so many, and we had a couple of setups obviously for White Tiger's niece, who is going to be the future White Tiger in the MCU, again setting up the Young Avengers or even like the Young Defenders. Like it sets up a little bit, and I am excited to see Matt Murdock like make his reappearance, and I do wonder if he will be in the Avengers movie or not. But yeah, this just wasn't a show for me, I'm going to be honest. I didn't really enjoy the Kingpin as a villain. I felt like he was quite basic, and he wasn't too threatening as a villain. Like, he didn't do much. He still had like the strength, but he was just kind of there. He wasn't really too involved. like, it was mainly just his goons that were doing everything, and he was sitting in, like, the back lines. Like, he's obviously the big head honcho orchestrating it all, but he had no presence. Like, he had no sort of influence to a certain degree of the show. So, I am a little disappointed with it, but it is what it is. I've watched it now, so I can't really go back and change that. So, yeah, if I had to give it a score, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. It's quite mid. Probably never something I'd watch again. I only watched it because I kind of had to for the MCU. But yeah, that's my rating. That's my thoughts. So I hope you all did enjoy this YouTube video. I hope you all do come back for tomorrow's video, where I do take a look at a couple of other TV shows, animes, video games. I do review quite a lot of things on the channel, so you know, I expect like a daily like media review every day, because you know they're like a good long form content where I can yap about something for longer than 10 minutes, compared to like some of my other reviews of like products where that's like less than maybe like 6 minutes, because there's not a whole lot to say about them. So you know, if you want some more review content, definitely stick around on the channel, because I do talk about quite a few things. There is always something for everybody on this channel. It is a variety channel. Always a little something here for you to enjoy, take a look at, and basically just feast your eyes on for a couple of minutes, and maybe just watch whilst you're having your tea. So if you want to comment down below what you're actually having for your tea, I'd greatly appreciate that as well. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next one. I hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe.